Good morning, Celebration Center. It is so good to see y'all here in person. I just love getting to welcome people into the sanctuary, and it's so good to have y'all here. And welcome if you're watching us on live stream. It's so good to see you on live stream. Also to see you, you see us more than we see you. But it's so lovely that we are able to be here in person and yet still have this wider global outreach that we've been talking about of this beloved community that is so much greater than four walls could contain, or even that this geographical area could contain, that instead we are this global beloved community of people coming together here as a Celebration Center. So welcome wherever you are located at. I'm so glad you're here. I am Reverend Chris Ashley. I'm the senior minister here at Celebration Center. We're changing things up just a little bit, doing it just a little bit different. So I'm going to let y'all know everybody who's going to be doing something in the service this morning, and then they're just going to come up as it's time. We're introducing this like new flow sort of thing. So we'll see how that goes. So like I said, I'm Reverend Chris Ashley. We also, on our practitioner on platform today is Irina Kurashevitz. So she is going to be joining us in a few minutes and opening us with some prayer as well as a reading and some inspiration. Then we are so excited to welcome back Lynn Hollyfield, our music director. She has been on vacation for the last 2 weeks, and it's made me a little bit sad. But I'm very happy that she's home, and I'm very happy that she's here, so it will be lovely to hear her beautiful music this morning. And then for the announcements today, we have Harrison Snow. He is the vice president of our leadership council. And finally, our technology extraordinaire, everything guru, amazingness is Ivor Tillotson, and he is in the back. So you won't see him, but he's amazing and deserves recognition as well. Yeah, I think that's all I have for y'all. So we are going to recite our vision together like we do each week. And I'm extra excited about reciting our vision today because my talk, which is entitled Commitment is Greater Than Resistance, is going back to that vision and that why we're stepping up and doing things. So it'll be nice to have that vision kind of fresh in our minds for that talk. So if you will say together with me aloud our vision, we are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. And it is so magical to hear y'all saying that along with me. And so now I would like to invite Lynn up for an opening song.
I'm going to do Here Comes the Sun. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say, it's all right, it's all right. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it seems like years since we've been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say, it's all right, it's all right. Little darling, the smile's returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since we've been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say, it's all right, it's all right. Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, It's alright. It's alright.
In person. So if you haven't had a chance, please come and listen to her here. Can you hear me? Shall I be closer?
There you go.
Okay, yeah, now I can hear it. Good morning. My name is Irina Kurashevich, and I'm platform practitioner for today. Practitioners are here at the center to pray. We were trained to know the truth behind circumstances. And I will always continue to repeat what Ernest Holmes says, that everyone who is practicing science of mind is a practitioner. Licensed practitioners, although have the knowledge and love to pray for other people and to have practitioner sessions. So please give us that absolute honor and pleasure to pray about you, about someone that you want to change in your life, or about something you want to expand. And if you think that you want more, you can always contact practitioners or our minister, Reverend Chris, and have a prac or minister session. Later in this service, we will tell you how to submit your prayer requests. There are several ways to do that, so please do it, and we will pray with you for a week. Reverend Chris's muse was telling her something about resistance and commitment. And I listened to that piece to get the right reading. But I was thinking that I'm sure that if we have this conversation after the service and everyone would have to explain what did they hear from the message, I am sure that we will hear completely different things. So this is what I took from what Reverend Chris's muse told her. I was looking for a reading about choice, because I think that commitment and resistance finally come together in the choice. So my reading today is from Ernest Holmes and his book, Practical Application of Science of Mind. This book was written in 1958. The power of choice with which man has been endowed in either the greatest blessing or his greatest curse. Properly understood, it can lift him to the heights. Misunderstood, it can drag him to the depths. He is free to choose anything which he wishes, but he must accept the responsibility for his choices, because inexorable law will create his experiences according to his choices. And I invite us all to pray. If you're comfortable, close your eyes and just relax and feel the support of the chair. You may be at home on the floor, you may be in a car listening to our service. So if you are, don't close your eyes. But just know that that divine support is within. As God is all there is. God is spirit. God is life. And there is no place where is no life. So it means that there is no place where there is no God. And God is. Everything I see, everything I feel, everything I know, and everything I don't know, it's all God. God is love, God is peace, God is abundance, God is prosperity, God is joy, God is harmony, peace, bliss, music, wisdom. And as I recognize that God is all there is, I know that I am. I'm one and inseparable from the divine. I'm all that God is. Perfect expression of the divine. And I know that everyone in this center, everyone in this universe, everyone I know and I don't know, is perfect and unique expression of the divine. Everyone is all that God is. And it is such a marvelous diversity and variety in God, within God. And I know that there is free will. There is free choice for everyone. I know it and I affirm it. And I know that there are choices can be made and then they can be changed. As it is all possible in God. And I know that there are choices of love, of peace, of joy, of abundance, of prosperity, of music, of wisdom, of friendship, of greatest relationship. And I know love and prosperity for this community, for this region, for this country, for this planet. I know peace. As I choose peace today, I know harmony, as it is my choice. And I make my commitment. And I invite you all to make your commitment, to be what you want to see. And I know that together, this center just shifts the universe, little by little, moment by moment. And I'm so grateful to know and to celebrate the commitment and choices of this wonderful group. I'm so grateful to know that resistance serves us in some way. And I'm grateful to know that love prevails. Peace prevails, abundance prevails. And I just simply let it be, release it into the law, knowing that it is always done in the perfect mind of God. And I let it be in gratitude. And this is so, and so it is.
Okay, I'm going to do, this is a song by James Cleveland called I Don't Feel No Ways Tired. I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, and I don't believe God brought me this far to leave me. I just can't give up. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, and I can't believe God brought me this far to leave me. I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, and I can't believe God brought me this far to leave me. No, I don't believe God brought me this far to leave me. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, and I believe that God is always with me.
I left my iPad over here. Sorry, y'all. All right. Thank you so much, Lynn. That was beautiful. The room really filled up while I was over there. It's nice to see all of y'all. I'm just taking you in. It's so nice to be here. I feel like this moment of us all being together in person is a really great example of commitment, is what it feels like to me as we're going into this idea of commitment and resistance and what does that mean and how does that show up and what's going on with all of that. Yeah, this right here, this feels like commitment in a really big way. And it feels like each and every one of us stepping up to that commitment, whatever it may be, whether that commitment is to showing up online or whether that commitment is to being here in person or whether that commitment is moving cross country to take this pulpit or whatever the commitment may be, that each and every one of us have stepped up to it in this really beautiful way that creates this moment. And I feel like each and every one of us probably has a story of some resistance that's possibly come up in this time of getting to this moment. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. That's what I wanted to focus on. The global themes for Centers for Spiritual Living for our parent organization was, is your commitment greater than your resistance? But I already know that it is, or we wouldn't be here, right? So to me, it's about what commitment is greater than resistance, and what does resistance have to offer us? What does it have to teach us? Because the reality is that resistance shows up, and that's in my ministerial musing this week. That's what I said. I was like, I hate to break it to you, but if you're existing, you're going to have resistance. It's just the way it is, right? And so to me, it's okay. So we're going to have this thing. So instead of pushing it away or trying to pretend it doesn't exist or trying to just put on a happy face and smile through it, what if instead we stopped and we dove into the resistance and we found out what does it have to teach me? What does it have to offer me? Why resistance? Why resistance? And the first thing that came to my mind is something that's not maybe my most favorite thing ever to do, is exercise and resistance training, right? So this is like the new buzz. You don't do strength training anymore. You do resistance training. That's all about the resistance training. And so I looked up what that meant, and there were a lot of big words about muscles and aerobic and anaerobic and all of this stuff. But what it really boils down to is that our muscles can only get stronger when they're pushing against some sort of resistance. And what I found was really interesting was I looked up, because I know that like exercise in space is a big thing, and I'm kind of a little bit nerdy. I don't know that y'all have gotten that quite yet, because I've kind of, I don't know, not been nerdy for the last 7 months, I'm not sure. But I looked up like exercise in space, and it was talking about how important it is for astronauts to exercise, and they've had to build all of these special machines and do all of the special stuff for them to be able to exercise, because in space there is no resistance. And we don't think about the fact that here on Earth, the mere act of existing in gravity is resistance. Like our ability to just walk around on this planet is as a result of resistance. And that's the reason that our bodies work, and that's the reason that our hearts can pump and flow blood to all of our veins and cells and organs and systems, and that's the reason that our digestive system works, and it's the reason that our bones don't atrophy, and it's the reason that our muscles stay strong, and all of that. It's all because of resistance. And so regardless of whether you're doing resistance training or whether you're just existing in the world, resistance is showing up for you in a way that allows your body to work. And that's really cool to me because it means that resistance is no longer something to resist, but instead it's something to bring in and to embrace as a necessary thing. And so then I look at, sorry, I get excited and I forget to pause. I look at what would resistance training for my life look like? What would resistance training for my spirituality look like? What would it look like for me to fully embrace when resistance comes up? I think the time that this came up the most for me, no, it comes up all the time, every day, all the time. I'm like, ooh, oh my, I had a feeling. Hold on, what was that? Let me dive in. Let me find out. But a time that really reminds me is when I decided to start tithing. So if you don't know, a tithe is 10. So a tithe is specifically 10% of your income. And there are different schools of thoughts on what tithe means and where it should go and who should get it and how you should do it. But for me, I tithe 10% of everything that comes into me to where I am spiritually fed. And that's a variety of places. It's shifted over the years. Of course, I tithe here to Celebration Center. I tithe to Soul Evolution Collaborative. Y'all have heard me talk about them. They've heard me talk about y'all because I'm there often. I tithe to these different places and organizations that keep me spiritually fed. And when I first began tithing, it was, oh my goodness, almost a decade ago. Well, first, back in like 2008, 2009, I was like, yes, I'm going to be one of those people. I'm going to tithe. And I tried to start, and all my resistance came up, and all of my fear set in, and oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? I couldn't even pay my bills before I was giving 10% of it away. How am I going to pay my bills now? And all this stuff came up, and instead of diving into that, and instead of looking at that, I bought into that fear, and I sat in that fear, and I didn't go get support, and I didn't figure it out, and it didn't work, and I stopped. I was like, well, this wasn't it, right? And I didn't tithe for several years. And then I moved to, that was at Unity, I moved to, now that we're Celebration Center, and I talk about y'all so much, every center to me is Celebration Center of Asheville and Celebration Center of Napa. When I moved to the Center for Spiritual Living in Asheville, I worked with a practitioner who was all about tithing. In fact, she would not work with you unless you tithe. She refused to work with you. And so she, got me on this ball rolling, and she got me on track, and she has a tithe log that you have to keep, and you tell where it's going and how much money came in and what went out and how it all works, and it's down to the penny. There's no, I brought in $531, so I only tithe 53. No, it's $53.10. She was very, very intentional with her tithing. And same thing, all the fear came up. Oh my God, how can I do this? I couldn't even pay my bills before. How am I going to pay all of it? And instead of pushing it away or pretending it wasn't there or using that as an excuse to stop, I dove into it. Well, what is this fear about? Where is this fear housed in my body? What's going on what's going on here? Where is this discomfort coming from? What is the belief in my mind that I am holding about myself and about my money and my abundance and prosperity that makes me think that 10% of my income is make or break for my own abundance, when the truth of the matter is that I am infinitely abundant, that the entire abundance of the entire universe and beyond is my divine birthright, and I'm over here worried about 10%. What's up with that? And I went to her and I talked about it, and I dove into those beliefs and I figured out where they were coming from and I healed them. And within, no more than 2 months, I want to say a month, my income had tripled from tithing. Tripled. And it was because I was willing to go into the resistance rather than resisting it or saying, oh, I just have to put on a happy face. I just have to pretend that everything's okay. But really on the inside, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Instead, I was willing to say that. I'm freaking out right now. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Will you pray with me? My goodness, if I had $1 for every time I've said those words. And that is the beauty of resistance, is when it wells up from within us, it gives us a direction to see what's going on. Where are the false beliefs? Where is the wrong thinking? And when we use that resistance, we can then heal those beliefs and heal that wrong thinking, and all of a sudden, our lives are working in ways that we never imagined were possible before. I also learned about myself, the other thing about resistance, resistance, is that it doesn't ever go away. I've been tithing for almost a decade now, and I still know about myself that if I do not tithe within 24 hours of the money hitting my bank account, I will not do it. I will allow fear to get in the way. Every time. And so I have it set. The day that I get paid, the first thing I do it from my bed in the mornings, off of my phone, I tithe my money out. It is the first thing that happens on payday. Because I know about myself that if I let myself wait more than 24 hours, that fear will set in that, oh, well, I've already paid rent this month, and that was, just as expensive as it was last month, but for some reason it's feeling more expensive to me in this moment, whatever it may be, and then I don't do it. And so since I know that about myself, I know that resistance is going to come up if I don't step into faith first. I step into faith first, every time, always. Except on the moments that I don't, which is how I figured out that I have to tithe within 24 hours. And then everything kind of falls apart, and I go, what happened? And I go, oh, well, resistance. And I make another commitment, and I start over fresh. And I don't beat myself up and say, oh, I can't believe you didn't tithe on that money, but instead I say, that was good information. Wow, what did I learn about myself here? Great, let's recommit. What am I committed to? I am committed to my abundance. I am committed to my prosperity. I am committed to Celebration Center. I am committed to tithing. Have y'all heard of Simon Sinek? Anybody heard of him? Yes, one person. I love Simon Sinek. He is all about the why, all about the why. And, it's really interesting because I was like, yeah, commitment is greater than resistance. And I was like talking it through with a minister friend, and they go, I don't like that word commitment. And I was like, what? What do you mean you don't like that word commitment? And they were like, it's a little weird to me. And I was like, what? So then I looked at the definition. I was like, I'll show them commitment's a good word. And I looked up the definition. And I was like, oh, that's a little weird to me. So I was thinking about this idea of commitment, because the definition, one definition I really like, the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc. But then it says, an engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action. And I was like, ooh, oh, okay. And then I started thinking about, okay, so commitment, it's not the commitment itself that is necessarily the issue or the challenge or the thing that restricts the freedom of action. It's what are we committed to? And if I'm committed to the wrong things, that's when my freedom is inhibited. But if I choose to stand in my own why, then it's okay because my freedom is not restricted because freedom is my divine birthright. And if I'm stepping in as my why, in my power, then there's no issue. There's no restriction. And then all of a sudden it becomes that state of being dedicated to myself and my own why. So Simon Sinek. So he has this really cool, will you pull up the infographic, Ivor? It's under PPY. So Simon Sinek talks about the why. And he said most people start on the outer circle and they move in. So they start with the what, and then they move to the how they're going to do the what, and then they try to get to the why from there. But he said when you start from your why, all of the sudden the how and the what become abundantly clear because you're starting at the center of your being. You're starting with who you are at the center, and then you're moving out from there. Thank you, Ivor. You can take it down now. And so I started to think about, what is our why? What is our why here at Celebration Center? I started to think about what is my own why. And at this point, my own why is so wrapped and tied into the Celebration Center's why, right? And the why that comes up for me is our vision. It's our vision statement, which is, oh, I did something weird. There we go. Our vision statement, which is celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. And so coming from the why and moving outward, all of the decisions, and y'all hear me say all the time, every decision that we make is coming from our vision. Everything that we're doing is coming from our vision. What does that actually mean? It means that every decision is run through this framework and this paradigm of celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. Everything. So why do the practitioners pray with people? Well, because they're celebrating the spirit within and they're knowing the oneness of humanity. Why does Ingi show up every week? Or why does Ingi show up every week and answer the phones and be here for people and do all of the calendar events and all of the making sure that everybody knows that our events are happening? Well, because she's celebrating spirit within and she's knowing the oneness of humanity. I could go on and on. Why does Ed Preston pick up the bank deposit every week? Because he is celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. Why are Ivor and I here, not anymore, thank God, but why were Ivor and I here until midnight for weeks? Because we are celebrating spirit within and we are knowing the oneness of humanity. And see how different that feels when we begin with our why and then we move out to, okay, this is what we're about. This is who we are. This is what our beloved community means. And then we move out from there. What do we have to do to make sure that everybody else knows that this is what we are about? What is the action steps to take? What is my personal purpose in showing up and celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity? And that is the question that we get to each answer. I could go on and on. I wrote down tons of examples of individuals in this community who are showing up and modeling that vision in every single action that is taken. And what is really beautiful about that, when we allow our why to inform and direct, all of the sudden we have all of the passion and the energy and the brilliance and the flow and the clarity and the abundance and the resources and the time to do the what. Because we're no longer moving from the outside in and trying to muster up our own individual resources to have enough, but rather we are being informed and directed and resourced by our own internal connection and source of the individualized spirit that is us flowing out into the what. And all of a sudden, that energy and that time and that brilliance and that clarity and that all of it is principle, and that is limitless. That is limitless. Ernest Holmes says, a steadfast determination to attain some purpose, the letting go of all that opposes it, a complete reliance upon the law of good, and an unqualified trust in spirit. This is true fasting and real prayer. And so as I think about this, as I think about this idea of committing and then resistance, the resistance that comes up when we commit, I think about we have our purpose, and then our resistance comes up, and then we release all that is no longer serving us. And then we rely, we step out on faith. We know the law of good is happening and unfolding in everything that happens. And then he says, that is true fasting and real prayer. We don't really use those words necessarily in our teaching. We call it prayer here, but spiritual mind treatment, our form of affirmative prayer. And we don't really fast. That's not really a thing that we do with our physical bodies. Maybe some of you do it if that's what's working for you. But instead, we are fasting our minds from the beliefs and ideas that no longer serve us, that no longer fit into that why that we are living our lives from. So the question, at least the question that came up for me as I was pondering all of this, is what am I not willing to let go of? What am I still holding on to? Where is that resistance still showing up? And I'm unwilling to look at it, or I'm pushing it away. I'm like resisting the resistance. I giggled at that several times this week. Resisting the resistance. Where am I not choosing to do my work? Where am I seeing that the work is welling up within me, and I'm stepping back from it, and I'm playing small, and I'm like, oh, well, in this one area, I'm going to start with the what. And then I'm going to move into the why, because it feels really hard the other direction. Where is that place within me? Because like I mentioned a moment ago, this is constantly coming up for me. You can ask any of my friends, I'm like, oh, wait, hold on, y'all. I'm having a feeling. That's what I'll say. I'm having a feeling. And they're like, okay, like good, bad, what is this feeling that you're having? And I'll go into it and I'll be like, oh, that's really interesting. Like you just talked about starting this massive ministry together. A recent time that it came up was with Rev Dan when we started Not Your 90s New Thought. And he and I are bouncing ideas off of each other, and we're going to do this live stream, and it's going to be so amazing. And oh my God. And then I'm like, whoa, hold on. I'm having a feeling. What is that feeling? And I dive into it, and I find that feeling is playing small. That feeling is, oh, is this really mine to do? Or do I know enough? Am I smart enough? Am I a good enough minister? Whatever the heck that means. Am I, do I have enough knowledge of the 90s or New Thought to step up and do this live stream? Is this mine to do? And when we do that, and it took, I don't know, a minute and a half. Dan might have a different idea of how long that took, but it took me about a minute and a half to be like, okay, great. Like that feeling, I can see that feeling, I can recognize it, I bring it out of the shadow and I bring it to the surface, I verbalize it to him, hey, I'm having all this feeling come up, and then it dissipates on its own because it no longer has power. It can't fester in my shadow, it can't fester inside of me if I speak it out loud and I tell it, you have no power over me, all of this is BS. All of this is not true. This is mine to do because you and I are having this idea. This is spirit. This is the creative expression of spirit working through me, in me, as me. So of course this is mine to do. And I no longer have to worry about that resistance because I've spoken it out and I've taken my power back. And I've told it, you have no power over me. And not from this place of looking away or being unwilling to look at it, but this place of standing in my power and looking at its face and telling it, you have no power over me. And that is what we are being called to do. So where in our lives are we unwilling to look at that resistance that's coming up? Where we're looking at resistance and we're judging it as bad or wrong or something that we shouldn't be feeling or shouldn't be having, instead of looking at it as information. It's not there to judge. It's just information. It's just a really good indicator of where we're at and where we're headed and where we're going to go next. And from that place, we can not get rid of the resistance, but instead we can embrace it as a natural aspect of life, just like gravity. And we can instead move through it in this beautiful and graceful way where we get to the other side and we are stronger and we are clearer and we are more informed of where we are headed and we are more living from that center of our why. So that is what we are doing together as Celebration Center. Our why, I'm going to say it one more time, is celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. And we are doing that individually within ourselves, and we are doing that collectively in this group, here in this room, on this live stream, every life that the center touches, and even greater than that, we are doing it on a global scale, knowing the truth of the oneness of humanity for people that we may never know and may never know us. That is what we are called to as we look at our resistance and recommit ourselves moment by moment to that truth. And so I invite you to pray with me. What I know is that there is just that one thing, that one infinite, absolute, eternal presence, that one God stuff, that thing that is the galaxies and the star systems and the universe and the multiverses and beyond even all of that, that one thing that is informing and directing all of life, every swirl of dust, every breath of every life. That one thing that is love, it is clarity, it is expression, it is divinity, it is resource, it is abundance, it is truth, it is wisdom, it is love. That one thing is the only thing that is showing up, and therefore it must be myself, it must be every single individual that is here in this room physically, that is here in this room via live stream, that is here in this room via a later time and date, because this one thing is so much bigger than time and space. And so this treatment reaches every life, everywhere, throughout all time, all space. That is how big consciousness is. It is so big that big can't even describe it. And so I know and affirm right here and right now that Celebration Center is living from our why, that everything that we do is brought through that framework of celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity, that every conversation that is had, every Zoom meeting, every in-person meeting, every Sunday service, every yoga class, every meditation, every conversation, everything, all of it is each and every one of us showing up, stepping up as the individualized expression of the one, knowing spirit within and celebrating the oneness of humanity. And I know that because each and every one of us are stepping into our why in a greater and greater way with every single moment, that we are living our lives full out, that we are living on purpose. And it is such a beautiful, divine way to be together as this beloved community. And I am so grateful for each and every individual. I am so grateful for the center. I am so grateful for this amazing, incredible why that we are stepping into and growing into. I am so grateful for the resistance that is coming up, the resistance that allows us to see that we are on the right track, the resistance that allows us to grow our spiritual muscles strong. I am so grateful. And so I simply release my word. I let it go. I know that it is done as I have spoken. And so it is. So now we have telus, which we had a request last week that when you come up, so you're going to come up here to do telus, speak into the microphone, please. And when you come up, if you will introduce yourself, because we now have people watching on live stream that don't know this kind of community, this core community that is here in person. So come up, tell us who you are. And the question that I have for y'all today is, what is your why? What is your why? What is your personal why? And if you are on live stream watching right now and you have a personal why that you would like to share with us, drop that in the comments and we will share it. I will come back up and I will read your comment out to us. So, who would like to share? What is our why? What is your why? Harrison. Oh, sorry, Ivor.
Hi, I'm Harrison Snow. I love the message of resistance. Thank you, Reverend Chris. And I think looking back in my own life, as resistance comes up, me towards other people towards me, what I take away from that in terms of the why is the power of surrender, agreeing to what is, opening up and trusting the universe, and really letting go, knowing my little cosmic intelligence has no comparison to the cosmic intelligence. And the only way to access that is surrender, is letting go, and acknowledging the resistance and the false thinking behind it. So, beautiful message, great gratitude, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Harrison. Who else? What is your why? Ed.
You've all heard me say many, many, many times, keep it simple, stupid, which is KISS. And I do that all the time. So my why is because. That's it.
Oh, thank you so much. So that was Ed Preston, one of our practitioner emerituses. Who else? What is your why? Awesome. Janine.
Janine Ballou. And before we called Reverend Chris, when we were candidating her, when she was candidating with us, she led us through a practice where we all got to identify our values. Do you remember that? I hope you do that again. It was tremendously powerful for me. And it confirmed what I already knew about myself. My why is connection. It just has to be from an internal space where what I do and what I say connects with other people. And so I'm grateful to have had that value experience to even more deeply confirm that. I would say another why for me is communication. So it means I'm not afraid to stand up in front of you. I'm not afraid to be your voice. I am back in the saddle again after a very welcome sabbatical from the Leadership Council presidency. Harrison stood in my stead, and I'm grateful for that. We have great things planned as this community from the Leadership Council, and it takes connection and involvement, and let's use the word of the day, commitment. So I'm eager to be back. You can expect great things. You're here. whether you're online with us or here in presence, personally breathing the air together behind our masks. You're committed, so thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Janine. And Janine, you just reminded me about my selfie that I want to do. So I'm going to do it now. So thank you, everyone. If you have more whys, please drop them in the comments. Even if you're watching later, even if you're not watching live, drop your whys in the comments. And for all of y'all here in the room, let's take a selfie because I want people to know that we're in the room. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out if this works. Let's see. I'm going to have to get down. Y'all, can y'all like come together and close in the middle seats without, being on top of each other? Without breathing? Okay, hold your breath and. All right. Oh, yep. Oh, good job, guys. All right. Yep, Lynn, you are in. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, great. Thank y'all. I meant to do it last week and I forgot and I was so sad. Thank you everyone for your whys and thank you, Janine. We are very happy to have you back in the Leadership Council presidency saddle, and we were very happy to have Harrison step up and take control for those couple of months. And now, Lynn, I would like to invite you up for another song.
Okay, I'm going to do an original tune. This is called Because of You. At the table we all sat, ideas passed around inside your hat. You said there's a way from here to there, but my uncertainty sat in the chair next to me. Last morning star has set, choices to be made but haven't yet. There's a shelf to rest your fear. You said close the door on doubt when it's near. And with you here I am. With you, here I stand. You made this real, and I'm here because of you. Because of you. Trust visits in my sleep. Like the wind, it lifts me into belief. The guides coax me round the bend, and then I see you standing there, my friend. And with you, here I am. With you, here I stand. Unexpectedly, your gift unwrapped the waiting. When you saw in me Gratitude does a crazy thing. It always makes me cry, so I think I'll sing to all of you who played a part. You brought me here, I hold you in my heart. And with you, here I am with a humble heart. Here I stand. You made this real, and I'm here because of you. I'm here because of you. I'm here with you.
Thank you, Lynn. I love that song as well. I'm so happy to have Lynn home. I love you. I was when I was candidating, since we're bringing up candidating, apparently, when I was candidating, I got to meet Lynn, and I got to experience her music a couple of times, and I was just so excited that I had such an amazing music director that I was going to get to work with, and it has been everything that I dreamt it would be. So I love you, Lynn. So this is the time in our service for our prayer requests and our giving. So we're doing it, if you're here in the room with me, we're doing it just a little bit different. We aren't passing baskets. And if you notice, the prayer cards aren't in the back of the seats anymore. Instead, we have two areas on either side of the sanctuary that you are welcome to give if you have any tithes or offerings, or that there are prayer cards and as well as guest cards there that you can fill out and turn in those baskets. Also on this side of the room over here, if you did not get that mask with the vinyl cutout last week, we do have that as a gift for you, and we do ask that you wear that mask here at the center on Sunday mornings, because we do have people who read lips primarily, and so it just helps them to be able to communicate in our social hour afterwards, since we are wearing the masks. And that also has a little "You Are Magic" card that's for you. So, because we love you and you are magic. So if you have any prayer requests, the practitioners and myself love to pray. Praying is our jam. So you can turn in a prayer card if you're here in person. You can also go online if you're online right now. If you go to celebrationcenter.org /prayers, or you can email prayer@celebrationcenter.org, either direction. And those go to our practitioners as well as myself. They are held in confidentiality and love, and we will pray with you. And then as far as gifts and offerings, you can give here in the room. You can also give online. I believe, Ivor, will you put that one up? I don't remember what it is. That one is celebrationcenter.org /donate. It's called Giving. Hold, please. Yep. Yes, celebrationcenter.org /donate. That brings you to our new Breeze platform where you can give easily on a secure site. It's all, encrypted or whatever it needs to be so that your money is safely held. And we are so grateful for all of your gifts, all of your love, all of your offerings, all of your whys that you bring to this community every day. And so with that, let us say our offertory affirmation together. I like to bring my hands to my heart so I can super feel it. You might want to hold your hands out. You might want to do something different, but whatever you would like. And we will say our offertory affirmation together. I open my heart to give and receive the blessings that our spirits promise to me. As I do, the entire universe conspires to give me an abundant life, and I open to accept it. And so it is. I think after 15 months of not hearing y'all's voice say that with me, that will never get old again. I love that so much. Lynn? Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. We're grateful for this day. We're grateful for this day.
After Harrison, it's always a challenge. And I'm honored and blessed to say a prayer, to know that resistance for me is a signal to do a prayer request. And this is my commitment, so I invite you, if you feel comfortable, to take that commitment. And if you feel resistance, just put it on the prayer card or email or the website. And go to your why. So I know that all those whys are answered in the perfect mind of God. I know that the prayer requests are being fulfilled right now. Every thought, every prayer, every word may be a prayer request. And I know the power of the universe. I know that, like Reverend Chris said today, that each of us is a creative expression of the divine. So I know that co-creation is going on within the prayers. And I'm so grateful to know it. And I know that abundance of the universe flows through the celebration center. I know that there is one source. And when I give, I participate in the law of circulation. And I know that that law is working right here, right now, and for everyone. There is no exception. And I know abundance, prosperity, joy, laughter, smiles, fun times, classes, wonderful speakers, wonderful talks, wonderful music for the celebration center. As I know that money that center receives multiplies and comes back in so many different shapes and forms. And I'm just simply grateful. And this is so. And so it is.
Thank you, Irina. As I make another adjustment here. All right, well, welcome. We are so excited to let everyone know, we're now in our announcements here, that tonight, Sunday night, our connection hour will start at 7 p.m. on Zoom. So join us then with friends and guests, and we'll chat, share support, create a beautiful energy to start the new week. So come join us. And this replaces our fellowship hour that previously followed the service, unless you come in person, right? So there's another reason to come and show up in person. Okay, please let us know how we're doing as we go through this change process. We're on our second iteration, and if there's any resistance out there, we'd like to know. And you can contact Reverend Chris with your comments, suggestions, ideas, concerns at revchris@celebrationcenter.org. Also, I don't know if you can put up the, can't put it up. Okay, great. Well, we'll just read through. We have the morning check-in in connection with Reverend Lori Boster and Ivor Tillison, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 a.m. to 9:40 a.m. We also have twice weekly Gentle Yoga with Jen Fay, Mondays at 12 to 1:30 p.m. and Wednesdays, 10:30 a.m. and 12 p.m. Tuesday's meditation with Reverend Chris, Jen Fay, and Reverend Faith Woods, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Thursdays, I think, is it going to be Thursday or is it Wednesday? It's going to be Wednesday now at 7:30 p.m., restarting on July 14th. July 14th. Open for everyone who wants to join the singing, so come. It's a lot of fun. I'm there, and I'm not a great singer, but they let me sing, so if they can let me sing, you can too, so come and join us. 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Saturday chanting, Saturday morning with Terry. I don't see Terry here, but I know she's out there in video land. So Saturday mornings, 9 to 9:30 a.m. I went last Saturday. It was just lovely. Saturday drum circle, July 24th, 1:30 to 3 p.m. So come and drum, and the location is on the website. 17th? July 17th instead? Okay, July 17th. And what's the location for it? Roundtree Park. Okay, stand corrected. So thank you for the correction. Still 1:30 to 3 p.m. Great. Okay, and that's our announcements.
Okay. Well, I love this song, and I thought it'd be nice to do this since we are all together here. Come Together by Lainey Bernstein and Michael Gott. Come together, heart and soul, as we love together. Young and old, we will sing together, together in one song. Come together from different worlds, we are drawn together in our own way. We can pray together, together we are strong. I see God in you, you see God in me. One path, one vision, one family.
And so I just send us out to fully live our whys out in the world individually and collectively in everything that we say and do and think and believe. And I love you all so, so much. And so it is.